Hello, my name is Olivia Hewston, and this is my senior capstone research project presentation. So this is all about how choirs are affected by COVID-19 and how they're dealing with it. Purpose of the study was to kind of go in and talk to the choir members about how they think the semester is going. Choir is such a social activity. So I wanted to make sure that students are still getting a sense of community and a sense of connection with other singers while still dealing with the pandemic restrictions and everything. So yeah, data collection method. I did a survey for the choir members. I interviewed one of the directors, and on the survey, there's a section where they can give a little bit of feedback on how they think the semester is going, what they would change while still following the guidelines. And doing the survey, I kind of phrased everything more as statements, so they could either disagree, agree, neutral, that kind of thing. So the first one was, I get a sense of community for performing in my ensemble. And it was really good to see this response. A lot of people agreed with it, which is kind of the overall theme of the research project. So it was really good to see that students are still getting that sense of community from performing in their ensemble, and yeah, it's still a positive experience for them. The next question was, this semester has brought me the same level of human connection as previous choral experience. And this was, I kind of wanted them to compare this semester to other semesters rather than just getting a sense of community from this semester. And it was a totally different response. A lot of them disagreed. So yes, they're still getting a connection this semester, but it's not as strong as connections from previous semesters. Dealing with COVID has definitely affected that aspect of it. Not being able to see other singers' faces has affected my connection with them. And a lot of people agreed with this, which is understandable. You know, when you're singing, your face is really where all the emotion comes from. And if you can't see this much of your face, like, it's hard to get something across, especially if you're singing like in a different language or anything. You know, it's so important to have that expression. And now singers really just need to bring it up to your eyes and your eyebrows. And, you know, even watching a performance, would you rather see really expressive, like, singing faces, or just eyes? So, you know, it really does affect how you connect with either other singers or your audience. So the music learning process is efficient. A lot of people agreed with this. I think I probably should have phrased it more in comparison to previous semesters, but this is a really good response. I think it has a lot to do with our director. He's really good at keeping us on track and staying efficient during rehearsals, so that's really important. Based on how choir is going so far this semester, you will continue to be involved in it next semester. And this was a great response. A lot of people just agreed, which is great, seeing that, you know, COVID isn't negatively affecting how they feel about choir in general. You know, it's not going to deter them from still being involved in it, which is really important. It kind of affects the whole dynamic of the group, but they still want to be involved, so it's still a positive experience. COVID-19 has had a negative effect on the ensemble dynamic, and a lot of people agreed with this, which is kind of expected. You know, not being able to see people's faces and that thing, and being so far apart, it definitely messes with how connected you feel. I think looking back, I should have used maybe a different word other than negative. I think COVID has just definitely had an effect. I'm not sure if it's negative or positive, just because so much of what we're doing is different than what we've ever done. So I think some aspects are going to be really positive. We're going to take it away and say we're going to keep doing this. And some aspects are going to be like, probably shouldn't keep doing that for next semester, kind of thing. So there will be positive and negative effects on the ensemble. Choir is more stressful due to fewer group rehearsals during the week. This is kind of more of a spread out answer. Some people agreed, some people disagreed, and I kind of see both sides, because we're not meeting as a group so much. We are required to do like personal recordings of ourselves, which is so much more stressful. Singing by yourself is way different than singing with a group. And, it's so much more vulnerable when you're singing by yourself and listening to your voice back in the recording, so much different. So that might add a little bit of stress. But I also see that because we're not meeting all the time during the week, you have more time to focus on other classes or other things that are going on in your life, which might reduce stress a little bit. So kind of a give and take a little bit there. Thoughts of the directors. I did interview one of the directors, and I just kind of wanted to give overall themes of the interview. And a big one was, students are just happy to be in person. So much of our social interaction has been taken away that, any social interaction is going to be a positive experience. And yes, it's a little more hard to learn music and, really polish it and get it ready for performance. But, we're dealing with it the best way we can. And he really stressed that getting feedback from students is really helpful for structuring next semester, and we are going to change things up a little bit, try new things, all that. Feedback from the singers, I was really surprised that most of it was very positive feedback. We're just doing the best we can was really the big overall theme. Yes, I would like to not wear a mask when I'm singing, but I have to. So, a big one was we just really want to be all together. This semester we've been kind of splitting it between a group rehearsal and then a couple sectionals during the week, and then another group rehearsal at the end of the week, which is a little harder just because we're not all together. And I definitely think this semester we've improved a lot on our individual musicianship, which is always really positive. So that might be another positive takeaway from the semester. So what does it all mean? I don't think it's as bad as it seems. Yes, it's very different than anything we've ever done, but I think still meeting and still singing is a really positive thing. And I think students are really enjoying it. And yes, we miss being all together all the time, but the fact that we're able to be all together some of the time is really great. Faces are really important when you're singing, and it really does affect the ensemble. Especially with emotion and breathing. If you can't see someone kind of breathing or, that kind of thing. Yes, it's a little more stressful, but, overall, the whole question that I asked, are we still getting a connection? Yes, we are. It's not as strong as it has been in previous semesters, but it's definitely still there, and people are still getting a really positive experience. So, final thoughts. This is a really fun project to do, and I really enjoyed kind of getting the feedback from the singers, and just to kind of see how we want to frame things next semester and for the future. Like if anything like this happens again, we can kind of know what works and know what doesn't work and that kind of thing right off the bat instead of having to deal with it right then. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening, and I'll see you later.